Everyone, it's good to see everyone here today. Thank you all for joining us for our weekly Thursday seminar. I know for some of you, it might be first time here. For some, it might have been many months or weeks that you've been attending. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to master here is the art of learning, right? So we have to learn as much as we can here, and then that way, when we are able to action on what we learn, we're able to skillfully action on those things. And so today I have the pleasure of talking about the lineage, right, and how to build your lineage, right? So let's get into it. Yes, so we'll be talking about mastering our lineage, right? So there's one simple mistake that could cause many people to fail in ATOMY or fail in network marketing, right? And 90% of people fail in network marketing due to this reason. And they can't get past sales master also due to this reason, or they lose trust with their partners and customers and intentionally slow down their business by years and even end up doing all the work by themselves, but then they get all the complaints as well, right? So what is that one simple mistake? And as you might have guessed from today's subject, it is lineage structure, right? So the structure of your lines is probably one of the most important things in ATOMY, if not the most important, right? So like, let's say we go through all the other stuff. Product is great, company is great, but if you don't know how to build the line properly, it doesn't matter all those things that you learned, it'll just go out the window because of all the mistakes you will be making through your business. And so the first topic that we'll be discussing for our success in our line management is depth, not width, right? So building a straight line is the key to success in ATOMY, right? And so here we're going to cover two different cases, right? So this is a different way to register your members. So here in case one, as we can see, we are at the very top. And then let's say we register using our code. We register a member on A, and then we register another member on B, right? And after that, we use A's code, right? And then we register C here, and then we use A's code again to register D here, right? And so now we have two extra legs here. We have this one and then this one and another extra leg. And we do the same thing on this side as well. And so as you can see, now it becomes a very pyramid-like structure, right? So as you all know, network marketing is famous for the wrong reasons, and where it's like network marketing is a pyramid scheme and all those things like that. And this is mainly why, because people build it like this, and then it goes on and on, right? You just do two legs on each side, so forth and so forth. But if that's the case, then that's why it makes it so difficult for many people to succeed. So what would be the better option to do, right? So let's say here on case two, I register a partner under A's ID, right? And so that partner C is my partner. And I use partner C's ID again to register partner D. And I do the same thing for the other side with partner E and F, right? So now I have two straight lines, right? Instead of on this side where I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines, right? So imagine having to manage all 4 of these lines. There's only so much money and time I can spend while doing ATOMY's business. So splitting it up 4 times makes it 4 times harder for yourself, right? So instead, just make it very simple. ATOMY already teaches us this is a binary system. So then don't make up new things from your own knowledge, right? If you had done network marketing before, scrap it all, throw it all away, because what you're learning in ATOMY is its own thing. So if you do binary leg, then you have to stick to the binary system, not only for your benefit, but for your partner's benefit as well. And so it's a long-term kind of system, right? So we're going to build on both legs straight down. So then when we think of that, which case would be the better option, right? So obviously, if we look at these two, comparing these two, and the pros and cons of each one, then we would want to choose case 2, right? Because this is going to make a very strong, long, and strong depth of your lines instead of building it by width and building it sideways, which is only going to increase your workload, increase the amount of complaints that you have from your partners, your customers, and so forth. And it just makes it that much harder for you when you need to aim for masterships and so forth. So here we're covering the depth, not width of what we want. I just talked about a little bit more in detail, right? So here in the first case, we have myself and then I have a bunch of partners that I added, not binary. I just added them randomly using my partner's lines on each leg, right? And so then what happens here is that one customer purchased 100,000 worth of PV on my left leg, right? And so that 100,000 PV, it goes up, right? So this customer also benefits from that. This customer also benefits from that. I also benefit from that. So then all of that together, 4 people benefited from that 400,000 or 100,000 PV that was inputted from the very bottom, right? And so it's not bad, right? It's not bad. But if we built it all the way down, by using the binary system, and let's say the same customer purchased 100,000 PV worth of products, and then that 100,000 PV worth of products also benefits this customer, it benefits this customer, and this one, and myself as well. And so right now, that is 6 people that have benefited from that one person's worth of purchases through our ATOMY business. Right, so which of these two would you rather choose, right? And so with this, it creates that strong flow of PV, while this one is a very weaker flow because you spread out all your customers and partners into different legs, thinking that that's going to build your success a lot quicker, right? But in ATOMY, it's a lot faster and more efficient to build it this way because everyone is going to benefit from the people at the very bottom, and the people at the very bottom will also benefit from your input as well, right? So it's better to do the case 2 in this case. And so here, a little bit more on what we want to cover, right? So let's say that we wanted to go on becoming a diamond master, right? So a diamond master, you need to have 2 sales masters on your left and 2 sales masters on your right, right? So here I am, I added 2 sales masters on the left and 2 sales masters on the right. So yeah, I'm doing it correctly. If I'm following the binary, non-binary, but just the sales master concept, then yes, I'm doing it correctly. And so each person has to do 2.5 million PV each, right? So my partner, sales master 1, does 2.5 million on their left and right. Same with sales master 2, sales master 3 and 4 also have to do the same thing, right? So in total, I had to help them as well generate 10 million PV in total, right? All together with those partners on the left as well as on the right. And so in total, the amount of PV that we had to accumulate all together was 20 million PV, right? So that's quite a bit already, and that's only Diamond Master, right? However, let's look at it from another perspective where we're looking at it as a binary leg. And so I have my sales masters here on each side on both legs that I've added. And these are my personal customers or partners. And so each person, sales master on the number 2 does 2.5 million and 2.5 million on their left and right, right? So that generates 5 million PV, right? On sales master number 1's left leg, right? So then sales master number 1 has to do 2.5 million PV on their right. And that is assuming I help sales master 2 using my main leg. So if my main leg goes down this way, I'm doing 2.5 million as well. And so Sales Master 2 also just focuses on doing 2.5 million. And Sales Master 1 also focuses on just doing 2.5 million. And then the same thing can be said for the other side where, they're focusing on that side. I'm also going down the main leg as well together with my partners. And then so all of them are benefiting from this downline structure and as well, which is saving a lot and building that strong flow of PV as I mentioned earlier as well. And so in total, we've now generated 7.5 million PV on each leg, right? On the left leg and on the right leg. As well, it's saved a lot of PV for people to do as well, because sales masters on each side just had to focus on one or split the work and then do that way as well. So it lessens the burden. And then the total amount of PV that we generated in total to get to sales to Diamond Master was only 15 million PV, right? So we saved 5 million PV just by following this binary system, right? So this is already case two is making a stronger point of why we should do that binary leg. Right, so then just by doing that alone, we're saving that. Now imagine yourself going up even higher, let's say you're Sharon Rose Master, you're challenging for, a Star Master or Royal Master, where you need to even focus on more amounts of PV, right? But if you build it like on the diagram on the left, then you're spending a lot more and wasting a lot more PV building and getting to your desired Sharon Rose Master or Royal Master, Mastership, and so forth. But if we build it on the right, then we're being very meticulous and optimal about our business and building it in the right steps to generate the right kind of PV, as well as saving a lot on very big costly mistakes, right? And so now let's move on to the next part. So we've talked a little bit about depth and building it down all the way down instead of sideways and not width. Now we're going to talk about same links and same line, right? So what do I mean by this is that we want to focus on, not putting people in different areas if they belong to the same category of people. So let's say your family members, right? You put them on the left. Your high school friends, you put them on the right. You don't want to mix and match your friends and family members on each leg and just put them in different legs, because it's going to create a very messy and non-synergistic kind of environment. Right? So here we're going to look at another example here. So here we are. I have myself, and then I added, partners A, B, C, D, and E, which are all from my high school, right? And so then I also have two more of my high school friends, F and G, right? And so I say that, okay, since I'm being greedy and selfish, I think that I'm gonna add them on my right leg instead of my left leg. I'm not gonna listen to Daniel. I'm not gonna listen to what he's gonna say. I'm just gonna add them the way I want it and add them on the F and G, because I myself am worried about my weaker leg on my right side and I'm not getting enough points. So I'm gonna split them up so that I can benefit the most from them. So then what's gonna happen from that? Right? And that's going to cause a lot of friction later down the group, right? They might not realize it right away, but your high school friends, they all also have connections with one another. So let's say customer, your partner D, they also know partner and H, right? Let's say partner G also knows H, and they also want to add them underneath them, right? And so now they're gonna have to fight over each other to add these customers and partners that are they're also friends with, and it's going to cause a bigger kind of friction and cause them to really fight it out just for that small mistake that you thought was a great idea in the beginning that you made, right? And not only that, but your partners will also see that, oh, Daniel is being very selfish. He's only worrying and thinking about himself, and that's why he split us up so that he can benefit the most, but he doesn't really care about our success, right? And so if you truly want your partners and yourself to succeed, then you have to start from your partner's success first, right? And ultimately, ATOMY is designed in a way where your partner's success takes precedence over your own success. And naturally, from the result of that, you are also going to gain success. And so what should we do instead, right? So we built it out. We have our same situation here, and I have my two friends that I'm going to add. Instead of adding it on my right leg, we're now going to add them straight down, right? And so we're going to go all the way down, and that's going to create that synergy and building that power structure, is building that depth that we were talking about earlier. And then now everyone is going to be happy. There's no one going to fight over the same friends or the friend groups, and then they're all going to benefit from each other's hard work and PV and product consumption. So then now we've talked a little bit about lines and making sure that we're grouping them into the same group, right? So now let's move on to a little bit more about the next topic, which is to don't build for someone else, right? So this is some of the biggest things that I've seen a lot of people do because they are, really wanting to have their family members or their friends succeed. And so they, start registering their own contacts under their parents, their children, their siblings, their cousins, best friends or whoever that is not doing the business, right? So if they're not doing the business at all, then they are not your partners, right? They are just a consumer. And so we need to be able to be very clear on deciding if they are a consumer or a partner, right? If they're just a consumer, then adding someone underneath them that is your own, network, your own customers or so forth, is going to slow down your business by a lot. And so let's take a look at an example for that, right? So here we have myself at the top, and then I added my family member or friend, right? So let's say I added my brother, or I added my mom or my dad or so forth, and they're there, and right, they are struggling financially or so forth, and they're having a hard time, and I feel bad for them. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna add some partners underneath them here on their right side, right? So here, where they're not even doing the business, they're not even interested, right? And then now I'm already adding this partners underneath them. And even though my partners are working hard, right? So I have A here, partner A is adding their own partners on their right and left side. And then I have partner B here also adding on their left and right side. They're working hard. And when they see this, it's going to create an unfair advantage for my family member or friend that I cherish, and then they're going to see that and maybe even quit, right? Because they're going to see that, why do I have to work for Daniel when he doesn't even add anyone underneath me? He's focusing on his brother or mom or dad, and instead of focusing on us who are actually working, right? And so I even have partners who come up to me and say like, oh, my son is going to do this business, so that's why I'm going to build it out for them. But is your son actually plugged into the system and actually following through and doing all the things that they're supposed to do? If they're not, then I don't consider that person a actual partner, right? They're not really a partner, and it's just your own selfish desire to build out that leg for your son. So please avoid doing this, and it's just going to cause bigger headaches down the road, because now let's say your family member, you want to challenge for Diamond Master or something like that, or Sharon's Master, the next level of mastership. They're not going to do any sort of work. So instead, then you're going to have to pour in the money on this right leg as well as this left leg here, right? So you're creating more work for yourself and more waste of money and time when you have to quickly grow your business and save yourself time in this business, right? So with that said, if we have to count how many legs that we're supposed to originally do, right? We're supposed to do 2 legs, so one here and one here. Now that we have a third leg here, we are now divided in the amount of money and time and effort that we have to spend in order for us to grow our ATOMY business. So in turn, that's just gonna waste time, waste your efforts, right? And so please don't do this, because just think that, let's say even if it's a friend and you believe that one day they're gonna come out, don't do this, because if they're getting free money and they know that you're going to continue to work for them, why do they have to go out of their way to come and actually work together with you, right? If that friend is going to try to save their time and effort, and seeing that you're working hard already, they're going to be like, I don't really want to come out, right? And because you built this leg already for them, you're going to have to continue to expand that. And if you want to restructure your leg later on because you realize that this was a huge mistake, you're going to spend years fixing that one simple thought that you made. Oh, I'm going to help my family member or brother or whoever, right? So instead, what should we do, right? Very simple, right? We just build all the way down, right? We just build all the way down. So we take partners 2, 3, and 4, and 5. We build all the way down underneath my legs. So now everyone is getting to benefit from that, right? Partner B is benefiting from that. Partner A is benefiting from that. And even my friend or family member, they're still gonna benefit from all of this, right? All of the hard work that I put into that main leg, regardless of whether they're working or not, right? So that's going to create that solid depth, and you're going to build that very strong synergy for not only yourself, but your partners. And so let's say you really want to help your family member, right? Then that's something that you can do when you are already an Imperial Master, right? So let's say you reached Imperial Master, you've had 50 million PV on each side coming up every single month, right? So then you're already making 100,000 every single month. So then now you tell your friend or family member, hey, you already have such a big opportunity here. Your leg is already so strong. So now focus on your own right leg and left leg and build them out, right? Build them out together with my already strong legs that I built together. And then you're going to benefit from it, right? And that's already going to help them realize that, oh, wow, all this time you've been working hard and all of this is created. Now I can work hard and benefit from all of that as well, because it's never too late to join ATOMY, right? Even though, let's say your sponsor is already an Imperial Master or so forth, it doesn't mean that you're never going to reach Imperial Master. If you work together with your sponsors, work together with your partners, then Imperial Master will come for you and be able to benefit from that as well. So now that we've covered all those key points, now we want to cover the last topic for today, which is to consult with your sponsors, right? So this is some of the things that I found many people are skipping as well because they're so focused on doing it their way, right? Some of them, they've done network marketing before, right? Some of them, they're too prideful. I don't want to ask my sponsors. I don't need their help, right? They're not very smart. They're not very educated or blah, 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 blah. All these excuses. But the people who've walked down those roads and made those mistakes before you can guide you so that you can avoid your mistakes that these people have already made, right? So why then are you wasting your time and effort going through the hard way and choosing the hard road when you can just take the easy way to success, right? I think that many people fall into this very simple trap. So, whenever you're confused about where to add your partners or where to add your customers, I'd say consult with your sponsors, especially if you're a beginner, when you're just a sales master or diamond master, so that you learn to properly build out your lineage for building a very strong group. And so here was the four main topics that I wanted to talk about for our lineage for success, right? So the first one would be to build depth, not width. And then the second one would be to link the same groups together, right? So if you have family members, group them together, friends, group them together, right? And the third one is to don't build any groups for other people that are not actually working hard. If they're not your partners, if they're not actually working hard and being plugged into the system, coming to the seminars, working hard, learning about the products and doing all of that, then they're not actually your partners. They might just be a customer, or there might not even be anything at all, right? So don't focus and waste your time on those people, right? And so then lastly, always consult with your sponsors. If it's your direct sponsor and they're working hard together with you, then that's the person you consult. If they're not really working hard, your direct sponsor, and they only added you, then go to the sponsor above them, right? If that person also is not working hard, then go to the one above them, right? Either way, all of those people above you are your sponsors. You just have to find the right one who's going to be your proper teacher and mentor so that they're going to guide you on your path to success. Because we don't want to be spending 50 years doing ATOMY and never reaching even close to Imperial Master, right? We want to be able to quickly reach Imperial Master within 10 years so that we can enjoy the rest of our life that we have together with our family members, our loved ones, our friends, right? And so then in order for you to do that, it's to, really important for us to let down our pride, let down our egos, and be humble, be really respectful, love your partners, love your sponsors, right? And really do your best to follow in their footsteps, right? So that is all for my lineage for today. And I hope that you all enjoyed our lineage lecture. Thank you.